The following program has been furnished and paid for by Ask the Expert Show. KSEV is not responsible for its content or the products or services offered. Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local experts in the field of health, legal, financial, and home improvement. Now, here's your host, Gary Knight.
Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another great episode and this great weekend that we have for us here today. Ask the Experts, the aforementioned Gary Knight. We have Fessa and Harlan Pickett with us today. I almost said your other show's name, which is?
Yeah, Health and Wealth Power Hour every Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KSEV Radio.
I called Fessa's number 512-687-6202, and I got a busy signal, so I just hang up and try again. That's
I would say hang up and try again. That means because there was a plethora. I used a big word. You see that? A plethora of people calling us. And if for some reason you couldn't get through, then you could always go check us out. Send us a message on gofessa.com.
And that's always open.
Always open 24/7, brother.
Okay. I just received my renewal notice, the life insurance policy that I purchased last year. It's gone up 500%. Well, of course, it doesn't matter because here's the question. I have not used the policy yet. Why would it be going up so much? It's going to go up whether you use it or not. That's my answer.
I think the funniest part of that is they said they haven't used their policy yet, and it's a life insurance policy. Well, clearly they're not sending in the question if they had used it, right?
It used to be called death insurance. Did you know that? When they first came out with it?
What's actually happened is they got that low introductory rate. That's kind of a funny thing to say about life insurance, but that's what happened is they signed up for a policy, probably saw an ad on TV or heard it on the radio, was surfing online and saw this great banner ad that said, get $500,000 in coverage for a 40-year-old for $25 or something like that. Wow, man, that's a great deal. I'm going to click on that and get her done.
I'm in line.
But what happens is those are what's called annual renewable term. And yes, you do not have to go through any underwriting next year. You're guaranteed to get it renewed, but not for $25 anymore. They're going to now rate you to where you would have been if they would have done all of the simplified issue, typically underwriting on you. And what really the insurance company's doing, of course, is they're hoping a whole bunch of people sign up and they're rolling the dice that you're not going to die. But if they lose one or two times during that, they really haven't lost overall because it's all about the big numbers. They got a lot of people to bite on that deal. And even if it's just a one-year thing because people opt out, look, they still made a whole bunch of money.
This person's is working like we are.
Yep.
And considering, but we're not as old. Yeah, I'm considering retirement, but I'm concerned about health insurance coverage. If I retire, I already have Medicare Part A, which I do. If I retire, what should I do?
All right, so they're still working their own group insurance, just like you are there, Gary, but they only have Part A. When they retire, they will have the option, maybe, of keeping their group insurance into retirement. That doesn't always happen. There are times when folks retire and their companies will not cover them into retirement, so that's one of the things they would have to find out. But pretty much across the board, once you retire, even if your company has a plan you can stay on, it would not be considered a qualified plan at that time as far as Medicare. And what that really means to you is if you choose not to sign up for Part B at that time, but do so later, you would have to pay a penalty. So typically what I recommend for someone is to go ahead whenever they retire, go ahead and sign up for Part B so that there's no problems later on. That way you've got that coverage. And then we look at what your current insurance will look like into retirement, if it's even available, and then what your other options are, whether we look at a Medicare Supplement plan, Medicare Advantage plan, whatever that looks like to you. Some folks just like to go straight with Medicare and nothing else. Maybe just get a standalone prescription drug plan. That is an option for some people, but you do have to take all the things into consideration. So what I would really recommend this individual does is reach out to us at FESA, Federal Employee Service Association. Of course, we help folks in the private sector also. Reach out to us at 512-687-6202, 512-687-6202, or gofessa.com.
Here's an HSA plan question.
Okay.
This person's enrolled. Went to use it, was told there was no money available because I never set up my account. You think this is a scamming kind of thing?
No, yeah, I understand exactly what happened here. It's not a scam. Unfortunately, what this individual didn't understand whenever they signed up for an HSA is the HSA plan and the HSA account are two separate things. Just because you have an insurance plan that is HSA compatible, that doesn't mean the monthly premium that you're paying, no part of that actually goes into an account. You have to open a separate account that is an HSA compatible account, and you can use the funds that you put into that to pay for medical expenses and not have to pay taxes on it. But they're two separate things. This is a very, very common misconception people have, and it is one of the main reasons why only about 20% of people who have HSA plans ever put a single penny in it. Many people think that they have an account, but they simply do not.
Okay.
So it is don't feel like you got scammed. Don't feel like you're being foolish. You just didn't understand it. It wasn't explained to you well enough. It just really what that HSA plan does is give you an opportunity to have that separate account, and it's a great, great deal. But people just don't take advantage of it the way they should. And if you ever need any help with that, just reach out to us.
Drones are already delivering food and packages. That's almost here. In fact, some places are already using it.
It's already happening. That's right.
And let's fall in with cryptocurrency now. That's sort of new also. Tell me something about it.
Cryptocurrency. This is a very timely question. Just this past week on the Health and Wealth Power Hour, we had Tommy Duncan from the Texas Crypto School talking about cryptocurrency. It was the subject of our entire show. And I learned quite a bit. I had no idea how many different cryptos were out there. Of course, most of us have heard of Bitcoin, but there are so many other ones out there and so many opportunities for investment in those. And the numbers he gave were staggering as to how many transactions and how many different coins changed hands just like the day before. 19 billion different coins across the whole spectrum of different coins was out there. So I don't know, with that many coins changing hands and as many people getting involved in it and banks getting involved with it now, Government Abbott saying that the state of Texas is going to start using blockchain for a lot of the different transactions that happen. I have to say that even though I've been very skeptical of cryptocurrency in general, it looks like it's here to stay, folks. So I highly recommend that you
check into it.
Yeah, don't look to me to give you the knowledge on it because I'm still learning it myself. But someone like over there at Texas Crypto School with Tommy Duncan, they certainly could give you some knowledge. And a lot of folks, of course, there's so much out there. You can really look and learn a lot of it right online. Lots of YouTube videos out there. But you probably ought to figure out what's going on with it and see if it's something that you want to spend any time really investing in.
That's crypto, not klepto, right?
That's correct. Yeah, those are two totally different
almost.
things,
Okay.
Gary.
Okay, let's move on. What do you believe are the long-term impacts of all the free insurance the government is offering people now?
Man, well, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Free insurance. Everyone likes free stuff, right?
Of course.
But there's no such thing as a free lunch, Gary.
I know.
No such thing.
Don't hold your breath, right?
The tax man cometh. That's all I can say about this. The free stuff is going to be paid for one way or the other. You're going to foot the bill. I'm going to foot the bill. We're going to foot the bill for all the free stuff. It doesn't stay free. We've talked about this for forever.
Indirectly.
About all the things. Yeah, not just in it. People wanted free college, but people want free everything, right?
Of course they do.
But
it
it's
doesn't
still
hurt to
not.
try.
No,
but it isn't going to work.
But you still got to pay for it.
In the
Someone's
long
got to
run.
pay for it. So it's still coming out of our taxes. Our tax dollars are what's paid for it. That doesn't mean that I feel negatively in any way for someone who's getting their free insurance. You're going to pay taxes for it anyway, so you might as well take advantage of it. If I have an opportunity to get free insurance or very low-cost insurance because of your tax credit or because you, in this case, you were eligible for unemployment anytime this year, and now you can get a free silver plan, or you're on COBRA and you can get that subsidized for zero, hey, go for it. Please go for it. We can certainly help you with that, but if you're already in that, don't feel bad about it because you're going to pay the taxes on it anyway. You might as well go ahead and take advantage of it now. Maybe you won't feel as bad about having to pay the taxes on it later.
512-687-6202. GoFessa.com.
GoFessa.com.
Harlan, It seems like every week something new is being announced regarding Obamacare. I just clear my voice. What do we expect in 2022? That's coming around the corner here.
Well, a lot of stuff that has been proposed on that, including a lengthening of the enrollment period, the open enrollment period. It currently ends on December 15th. It runs from November 1st to December 15th. They're looking at pushing that all the way until January 15th, which it was a few years ago, that length also. That's, I'm kind of torn on that. I'm not a big fan of extending it simply because it gets people to move faster if it's not that long. Mm-hmm. But then on the other side, there are some circumstances. It's around Christmas time that it ends. There's a lot of stuff going on in the holidays. People kind of get lost, or maybe they don't change their plan during that time period, thinking everything's going to be fine. And then they get into the next year and everything's not fine. Something's changed on their plan. Potentially even a doctor doesn't accept it anymore. Your medication's not covered the same way. Mm. So I understand there's some circumstances where it would be nice to have that opportunity to go ahead and change your plan once the new year started. So, I kind of flip back and forth on that. I think overall it's going to give people more opportunity to make sure they're not stuck in a bad plan for an entire year. So I'm going to fall on the side of, okay, we'll suck it up and just go ahead and help folks for another month. But the other side of it is what we're really looking at in 2022 is a number of providers that either got out of the market or else had really narrowed down what they were offering or coming back. One of the big ones, of course, is the largest provider in the country, and that is United Healthcare, has elected to get back into the marketplace more so than they were this year. They were just in a couple, 2 or 3 states in 2021. Now they are going into more states, including the state of Texas in 2022. So there will be plans from United Healthcare once again offered on the marketplace for 2022. Okay, competition's good, right? The more plans we have available, then the better you are. Now, they won't be offered in all counties, but it's going to, in some of those counties, such as Harris County, Bexar County, over where I'm at in San Antonio, and all your Dallas area, they're going to be offered in those counties, and that's going to really increase the competition and give people more options. And there's nothing bad about that. Competition's a good thing.
It saves money in some
Absolutely.
cases. Most cases, actually.
In most cases, that's correct.
All
yes,
right,
sir.
we're Harlan Pickett with FESA. Gary Knight here. Ask the experts. We'll be right back.
The Federal Employee Service Association, FESA, helps federal and non-federal employees. In 2008, a group of individuals with over 100 years of combined experience in financial services created an organization with a service-first approach. They began by becoming federal benefits specialists and helping those employees understand their benefits at no cost. In 2017, they took their experience helping federal employees and made the same services available to the non-federal worker. With a service-first, at no-cost approach, they utilized the retirement income planning philosophy of people are living longer and must have a guaranteed income stream they cannot outlive. At FESA, one of their newest free services is Social Security Maximization. Highly trained individuals, supported by sophisticated software, are available to make Social Security claiming a peace of mind experience. An individual can receive hundreds of thousands of dollars and sometimes millions of dollars from their Social Security benefits. It is very important that decisions are made that maximize that income stream. Whether they're working with Social Security, pensions, or IRAs, FESA begins with a free personal benefits analysis to help you understand which benefits are available to you and what you may be paying for that you cannot use. Human resource departments work for companies, but FESA works for you. Contact FESA today at 512-687-6202 or log on to gofesa.com. That's gofesa.com.
And we're back. That was a quick minute.
Sure was.
A little over a minute, but who's counting? This is Gary Knight. This is Ask the Experts. Harlan Pickett is with us today. We're talking about rates on my Medicare supplement, and the supplement plan is becoming ridiculous. Latest increase puts the cost over $200 a month for this individual. Doesn't know if they can afford that. What are the options?
All right, Medicare supplements, a lot of folks don't know this when they sign up for them, but they're not locked in to the rate that you purchase it at. They can go up every year if they so desire. And a lot of times what someone will see is 5 as short as 5 years, but in some cases between 7 and 10 years, depending on the plan you're on, it can certainly get way up high, like what's happened to this individual. Now, a couple of things that they can do is, depending on which plan they're on, with it being that high, it's a very good possibility they're on a Plan F, which is no longer available to anyone now turning Medicare age or 65.
That's going to be faded out eventually.
Right, and so one of the reasons why that plan's going up so much, if it is a Plan F, is because the risk pool gets smaller. No new people get on it, so that means as the risk pool gets smaller, the rates have to go higher because more people are using the plan. What they're really trying to do is rate you out of it and onto something else. And that is one of the things you could do is you could apply. You can't automatically get it, but you could apply for a lower type plan like a Plan G, which is identical to a Plan F, except you must reach your Part B deductible annually before it covers doctor's visits and your lab work and things such as that. But that's only $203 for the whole year. That's not a bad deductible at all, especially when you could save very easily $500, $600, $700, depending on things, up to $1,000 a year. So it's just a drop in the bucket as far as how much you could save. Now, if you have a Medicare supplement, you only had your one time of open enrollment, or that you were guaranteed to get it without any medical questions. So if this individual wanted to change to something else, then they would have to answer the medical questions to be sure that they qualified for that plan. Now, another alternative that they have is to wait for annual enrollment period, which is not too far away, October 1st to December 7th, October 15th to December 7th. And they could then get off of their Medicare Supplement plan and get onto a Medicare Advantage plan and try that out.
Okay.
Now, those are going to be much less expensive. And if you've never been on a Medicare Advantage plan, here's a pretty cool thing that can happen. Let's say you get on that plan. You've really got a 1-year tryout to see if you really like it. If sometime during that year you say, you know what, I just don't like this Medicare Advantage thing. It's not for me. I want to go back to original Medicare and a Medicare Supplement.
Okay.
If you elect to do that in that initial 12-month period of time that you're trying out, as it were, a Medicare Advantage plan, then you are allowed to get back on and get a guaranteed issue of a Medicare Supplement plan. So you can get back on and don't have to go through underwriting. You can get on a Medicare Supplement if you just didn't like a Medicare Advantage.
Supplemental insurance.
There you go.
And that's good to hear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this person's on Medicare and Medicaid.
Okay.
Okay. I saw a commercial on TV saying that there are special plans for people in this type of situation. Do you know what they're talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely. So what this individual has is Medicare, Medicaid, or as we call in the industry, a dual eligible or Medi-Medi. And there are special plans that are available for these individuals, and they can even change their plan during the year, unlike most folks who, of course, have to wait until open enrollment. They can change their plan once a quarter. Now, why would they want to do that? They can change their plans because the numbers just show that someone's on Medicare and Medicaid, they have a lower income, they're more likely to have problems with their health. Okay. And because, you just have the lower income, it just falls into that way, unfortunately. And because of that, they can have changes in medications or changes in needs in doctors. And since that's the case, they give them the opportunity to change more often. Now, one of the things that's very important about these plans is it does coordinate between Medicare and Medicaid. Oh. If you don't have a plan that is a Medi-Medi or a dual eligible, they do not do that. And that means that you may end up going to a doctor that does not accept one or the other. You could go to a Medicaid doctor that doesn't accept Medicare and therefore be out money. You could go to a doctor that accepts Medicare but not Medicaid and have the same situation. But if a doctor is in the network of a Medi-Medi, then they're going to accept both things, and the plan will coordinate all of those benefits. Typically, it's going to wipe out all of your deductibles, all of your co-pays. The cost of your medications will be low or zero. Lots of great benefits on these type plans. If you need more information about that, I highly recommend that you reach out to us because it's not always easy to find the best one for you. 512-687-6202, 512-687-6202, or gofessa.com.
Thank you. I'm getting ready to claim my Social Security. Now, this person's heard different information regarding this and how the income will be taxed or if it's going to be taxed at all. Can you please clarify this?
Boy, I'd love to clarify that. But
you've heard about it?
Yeah. Until I think it was 1983, we did not pay taxes on Social Security. You didn't have to pay anything. That was changed to where you're paying about 50%, or you're paying on 50% of your income. But that can be variable because of what your income level is. Mm-hmm. So I really can't just answer the question flat out because I'd have to know exactly what that individual situation is. Mm-hmm. That person probably needs to contact us also or get on and ask for a free benefits analysis right there on our FESA website. We can set an appointment up. If they haven't started getting their Social Security yet, which is what it sounds like, then we can also do a Social Security optimization report for them to make sure that taking it now is what's really in their best interest. Those reports don't cost you anything, and it will really get down to the meat of when is the best time to take your Social Security. Once again, you can go out and request that on gofessa.com.
Somebody's got great coverage with Tricare. First of all, is Tricare still available? It's still going on now? Because this person says they received a letter that they're going to get kicked off of Tricare. What do they need to do? Is there something they're missing? Okay.
So if they're, I don't know why they'd be getting kicked off of Tricare. If it would depend on their situation. If they are, if they're active military, then they could be on Tricare.
Okay.
If they leave the military without retiring military, then they could get, obviously they would lose Tricare. The only other thing that I can think of is if you are, when you turn Medicare age, 65 or older, if you're on Tricare, then you must sign up for Medicare.
Okay.
To continue to have Tricare. Gotcha. Same kind of thing works with VA.
Is that A and B?
That's A and B.
Okay.
Yes, Tricare requires you to sign up for Medicare A and B to continue to use Tricare. And, that's an excellent thing of coverage right there. Medicare becomes primary at that point, but you get to keep your Tricare. And, of course, that's a big deal for people that have families that are still on their plan, whether it's just a spouse or whether you have kids even at that age. Whenever you happen to get on Medicare, they can still stay on that plan. So I can understand why this person would be concerned about losing it. But what his letter probably says is if you don't get Medicare, then you're going to lose that coverage unless, once again, they didn't retire military and they're active. There's only a couple reasons why you'd lose Tricare, and if they're getting out of the service without retiring, then that's kind of a given. They should know that. So I'm thinking that maybe it's a Medicare issue.
So if you have information about that, folks, at Tricare and that general question, or anything that goes on that maybe you want to get involved with us right now. So you can see I've already included myself into this comment list, like, tying my shoes. 512-687-6202, gofessa.com. We're almost running out of time. Quick question for you again. This is from a person said finally gave in to Obamacare plan because it was free. Now, they think, well, what happened here? 6 weeks to see my doctor? I don't think so. I cannot go to see my cardiologist without a referral. Even though my plan is free, I could still end up paying, $8,500 plus. Why are these plans so terrible? What's going on here?
Welcome to Obamacare. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, hey, you got your free plan. Well, what were you expecting, right? Now, there are some good plans out there, and it sounds to me like what happened with this individual is, they qualified for a tax credit or they got their free plan, but a lot of those plans still have an $8,500 plus out of pocket, and this individual's probably on an HMO, And when you get on that HMO, guess what? You got to have a referral to see your other doctors, and you're finding out that your primary care doctor now won't see you for a long extended period of time. You're trying to get in to see a specialist. I mean, good luck.
Exactly.
I don't know what to tell you, Gary. It's just a tough deal. You know, there's a trade-off right there. Right? You've got this free coverage, but now you've got to put up with what happens by having that free coverage, and that is doctors just don't want to see folks that are on Obamacare plans. That's just the bottom line.
And this is not happening to just one individual.
Oh, no.
There's a few more out there.
We hear about it every week.
I bet you do. I saw your face. Okay, here's I think we're going to squeeze this question in. I've been contributing to my 401k for about 22 years. Mm-hmm. I lost my job recently. Should I leave my 401k where it's at? If not, what are my other options? Sounds good for me, too.
Okay, this is a great question because the answer is very simple. No, never leave your 401k where you have no control over it. And that's what happens if you leave it with your former company. You have zero control over anything anymore. You're not an active employee. You cannot move your funds. You cannot do anything. If you, say, had your funds in a volatile place in your 401k because you were thinking long term, you can. If you see things starting to go wrong in the market, you cannot just move it. It doesn't work that way. You don't have the same access as somebody else does. I highly recommend that you move it out. And we can show you all of your options by contacting us over at gofessa.com, 512-687-6202. That could be an annuity. It could be a personalized IRA. There's just so many different options that you may have. Really, we need to look at your individual situation and then, of course, what your goals are for that money before I could make an educated decision. Gary, I sure appreciate you taking time with me today, buddy.
Hey, anytime. And what is that number again?
512-687-6202. GoFesta.com. And don't forget to listen to us every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KSV Radio 700, Health and Wealth Power Hour.
Thanks again for tuning in for another Ask the Expert show right here on AM 700 KSEV.